Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. And I think we have a feline friend joining us this afternoon. I'm just feeling a little bit lonely with all the renovations going on. It's been a while since I've done a video, and most of that has been because I had a slow leak in my kitchen, and I've spent the summer ripping it all out and having to reinstall it, which I'm busy doing now. I thought that it was particularly important to potentially do this video now. While it's all very fresh in my mind, because since my surgery for ovarian torsion while I was pregnant with number 3, which involved removing both the right hand ovary and the fallopian tube, I had a series of miscarriages after I gave birth to number 3, and then my cycles started to change, and I had some other not great symptoms starting, and I kind of just arrived at the assumption that that menopause was around the corner and was awaiting tests to confirm that. And then this month, a cycle was due and didn't arrive, and we're a week late and still hasn't arrived. And last night I started feeling a bit queasy, so I decided to do a pregnancy test, and it has come back positive, which is daunting for a lot of reasons: physical, mental, practical, financial, maybe even just on the sheer scale of being overwhelmed with all of the stuff that I have on my plate as just a general human right now. So I have booked myself an appointment to go and check my FSH instead of just my HCG, because there's a possibility that if it is menopause, that it's a false positive pregnancy test, given the onset of nausea last night and intermittently throughout today. I'm going to hazard a guess that the FSH is going to be way up there too, and potentially that the HCG is doubling. Normally, a pregnancy announcement, in terms of everything that I've seen on the internet, tends to be a really positive thing, unless people are talking about it retrospectively. I may be wrong. I'm sure there's plenty of people that are talking about the not so welcome sides of pregnancy, or the uncertainty that surrounds pregnancy in general. On occasion, all 3 of my pregnancies so far have been planned. This one was not, and at the moment I'm somewhat burying my head in the sand that it's all real, and I'm just taking each step as it comes. So my first reaction has been to check in with the medics, to make sure we're dealing with what we think we're dealing with, and to make sure that that everything is as it should be physiologically, and that there's no inherent risks right from the get-go. And I'm just assuming that at this stage, if I put one foot in front of the other, that all of the necessary decisions along the way will become apparent. Maybe I'll be wrong, and I'll have to make some tough decisions in either direction at some point. It won't just fall into place on its own, but I'll cross those bridges when I get to them, because mostly I'll have no choice in the matter. But yeah, I thought that this might be a helpful thing to look back on in times to come, and also to kind of log, I guess, that unlike with my previous pregnancies, my first instinct is to panic. It's like cat knocking the computer. Largely financially, and mostly because physiologically I'm not in a good shape at the moment. My diet's a mess, sleep is terrible, exercise in any kind of healthy way is not really happening, and that's all a worry. And I'm given the surgery that I had in pregnancy number 3, and also the hemorrhage that I had during the birth, after the birth of number 2, I have some real fears about my mortality, and given that I have three tiny people to take care of already, that seems to be very front and center in any thoughts that I'm having at the moment. Is what if it goes wrong and something bad happens to me, either permanently or temporarily? What is the scenario in that case? Which is not something that I've really ever considered before. I'm not sure that I would have considered it if I hadn't have had the surgery with number three. But definitely this time something that is worrying me, and fear isn't something that I feel very often, but I'd definitely say I'm scared of the risks, and I'm looking forward to getting more information and filling those blanks in as time goes on. So for the time being, there is a possibility that come next summer I will have 4 under 5. So I will have had 4 babies in just over 4 years, which is more than I expected. I didn't really set out, I've said it before, I didn't really set out to have 3 babies in 3 years. It just kind of happened, but every step of the way it felt decided and sure, and not really weighing up the risks of what could go wrong so much. Whereas this time, perhaps it's just because it hasn't been planned, and wasn't expected, and is a lot to juggle. It feels much more of a practical thought process and less of the baby. But there we have it. There's my update after all these months of summer, ripping out a kitchen and trying to finish off putting the new one in right now. Let me know your thoughts. What would you do if you were me? What would you be thinking? How would you be feeling? How did you feel when it was you? What is normal? Until next time.